Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we're going to make version 2 of my desktop organizers. Now the first version of this that I made, I did full welds all the way around using 7018 electrode, and from that I realized that just tack welding is totally fine. Now it's not just very simple tack welding, it's a little bit of a deeper tack weld, just to make sure nothing moves, but tack weld nevertheless. This version here, I wanted to test the finish on it. So the first time I did this, I sandblasted everything and it had a really nice finish on it. This time here, I tried sanding it and I tried other sort of things. And here is the matte finish. That's just my fingerprints showing up on this here. And this is the glossy finish. It's night and day. Let me see if I can lift the other one here at the same time. So I show you the difference. So from this experimentation, definitely the matte finish is better, by far. The matte finish is two things. One, just gives it a better overall aesthetic, but more importantly, it hides all of the possible defects and that kind of stuff that you see, because what the gloss does, it reflects the imperfections, while the matte just sort of goes over it. So this is probably the most important part of this entire project, and that is cleaning all the surfaces of mill scale on the metal. Now for flux-cored arc welding and gas metal arc welding especially, it's something to keep in mind because you want a really good ground before you start doing the welding. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm using the sander this time around instead of the sandblaster, and it did actually a really good job of removing all of it. Now the next time I make this, what I'll do is I'll use the sander first to do this. Then after that, I'll go through the sandblaster just to clean it all up completely. So as mentioned before, the first one I made of this, I sandblasted everything twice. One, the individual parts, and then afterwards, after I did the full welds, sandblasted everything. And I didn't notice, but here you can see, I'll use the glossy so you can really see. See all this little bit of spatter here and there? Now what the sandblaster did, it removed all of this, and I didn't even notice that it was there to begin with. But it's definitely an issue that I need to resolve for this. And overall, it actually looks pretty good. I like the shine of the glossy. I just don't think it's good. Again, it just shows all the defects. While the matte, again, I just prefer the aesthetic of this. It's more of a, it doesn't outshine basically what's on your desk. And again, you can see here, but you don't notice all of it. This has the same amount of spatter as this one here. If I get the light to be the same, but you just don't notice it. So that's what I mean. This one accentuates the issues, this one hides it. Something I noticed after the fact is that while I'm welding these, I'm switching all these parts around. What I initially thought I was going to make, I ended up making something a little bit different. Just because the fit of it and that sort of stuff sort of worked out better in one way than another. And what you see here is me flux-cored arc welding. So what that means is the flux is actually inside of the tube that I'm welding instead of on the outside, which you see with shielded metal arc welding or stick welding. Now, when I'm welding it, I don't really see any spatter on the surface of it. It's just because you have gray from the metal and you have just no reflectivity or anything like that. That's why I was surprised after I painted it to see all of that. Now again, I didn't see that the last time around because I sandblasted everything and that just cleaned every surface. And the nice thing about sandblasting is that it gives everything a nice flat matte finish, but also if there's any surface imperfections, you absolutely do not notice them because everything is evenly sort of sanded, so to speak. Now when I sanded this using my orbital disc sander, it was completely different because there I had a really clean flush surface, and then what I did is did the flux-cored arc welding as you see here, and then I cleaned that up and then I painted it, and you have a nice clean flat surface and you have little bits of micro whatever pieces of metal or whatever you have from flux-cored arc welding on the surface of it, and it's almost imperceivable. And then when you paint, that's when you see it. So that's what I noticed this time around. So next time I know to really pay attention to that, which is why I'd sand it first because it's a lot faster than sandblasting, at least with my setup. Then after that, you do the sandblasting, you have a matte finish. After that, you could do the painting and everything should come out just absolutely beautifully. And that's why it's important to, practice doing this kind of stuff before you do it for customers. The first one I did came out great. Second one, not so good, but now I know why. And so the third time I know what to watch for every step of the way. And that's why I also do these videos, because it might be maybe a month or two before I do this again. And by then I might have forgotten these lessons, but by reviewing the YouTube video, I go, that's right. I gotta pay attention to this during the production cycle. Now these were made just using scraps, so that's why they're a little bit different here. But if I was going to actual production, I'd probably make these things a little bit more interesting. One way to do that is just to have cut these things at an angle, just visually more interesting. Now at the bottom of this, because this is 3/8 mild steel, little pieces of steel here and there, so it's actually quite heavy. And at the bottom, you have to put these things, foam or rubber pads. And the reason for that is because when you put them on a desk, you don't want them to move around and scratch your desk. And this does a wonderful job of that. So looking for custom or desktop organizers, contact me at CNCKing.com. We can literally make them out of anything, and we'll ship them right to your door.